So I've got my 10 books ready for a pre-screen. Let's take a closer look at them, shall we? Well, thank you for joining me once again. As I said, I was going to get my 10 books together and we're going to go over them together. And I've already made the videos. I'm doing this one last, go figure. So I'm going to zoom in and show you the front and the back of each one of the comics without the bag and without the backing board. I've got a larger backing board that I'm using to just slide it around and let you see the condition of the book the best that I can. There are certain little things that I can't get the angle to show it in the camera, but I'm going to describe them as accurately as I can and give you my quick little predictions. So if this is something that you find to be helpful to you, or if you're want to place bets with me or whatever, I encourage you to please like, subscribe, share, notifications, the whole 9 yards. And other than that, here we go. Okay, so the first book we're going to look at is Shuri #1. And I've got it zoomed in there so you can see the top edge and the part of the spine. I am going to slide this back now so we can slowly look at. There are no ticks on the spine. The cover is in beautiful condition. And I'm going slightly sideways. I apologize for that. It is a second printing, that's why it's the black and white. I wish I could get this to focus better, and I'm sorry about that. I'm going to pause for a second and flip it over. Okay, we're flipped over now. And we're getting a lot of reflection from that light. I'm sorry. Spine is on this side. So we're going to start sliding her down. You can see the whole back edge. Good thing to know that Spider-Man wears citizen watches, you know. I folded over this piece of cardboard just to give myself a little bit of a lip to hold it against. Okay, so that, like I said, is Shuri #1, and we're going to hit the next book. And of course, what would Shuri #1 be without sending Shuri #2? Because this one is, as they say, the money shot. Second printing again, very low print run, showing her with the Black Panther costume right there on the cover. Great art on this. I do have the first printings as well. Again, you can see that everything does look pristine on it. Corners sharp, edges sharp. Everything is fine with the black down here. And I'm going to pause now so we can flip it over. Okay, now on the back cover, right here by the staple, as you can see, there is definitely a spot there where there's color is gone. I don't know if something rubbed that or whatever. That was prior to me getting it. I know that this is not going to be a 9.8, but for me this is going to be a learning experience because I've checked this book over 18 Ways to Sunday, and that's it. That's what's down about this book. I think it's going to be a 9.6 or a 9.4. I don't anticipate that one spot, that one imperfection, as you can see by looking at the rest of the book. I don't think anything else is really wrong with this, and I don't think they're going to take off more than 0.4 for this book. But again, I want to learn, so let's find out. Okay, so now we only find them when we're dead. #1, the one of the variants. I don't remember what the name of it is off the top of my head. I will have to find out when I go online to fill it out. I guarantee you that. I can't keep track of every name of every variant of every comic book these days. I'm sorry. I know that this book is not, that expensive. Some people even look at it that, is it worth even having it graded? I just want it. I really just love the look of the book. I think the artistry is great. The color really pops on it. And I really want to see what this looks like in a slab. So let's flip it over and look at the opposite side. Okay, there we go. See the top edge. Spine on this side where the shadow is. Follow it down. No ticks. This is one of the ones that I picked up 10 copies in the store and went through them until I found the one that I thought was the best. So, do I think that this is a 9.8? Yeah, I do. I mean, If I didn't, I wouldn't. It wouldn't be in this batch. I didn't, you know. But well, we're gonna find out just how good or bad I can be. Next. And what would it be if I didn't? If I sent the variant? If I didn't send the actual, we only find them when they're dead first print. There's a darker cover, so it's going to show more. But again, I've got one very light tick here. Very hard to see on the camera. Does not color break at all. I've got to catch it just the right angle just to see it. Boom, boom, coming down. You know, it's funny, when I first got this book, I thought that this corner down here was actually a defect, a ding, I guess you'd almost say. And it's not. It's actually the curvature of the D leaving the brown ink right behind it. Like if you were to make this larger, you'd see the full D, and the curvature very similar to up here, down here. So if you see this in a store and see it, looks brown down here, it's not color fade or color being removed. It's actually just, that's the way it's printed. Flipping over. Okay. So the back edge looks actually very, very good as well. There is one to do, where is I gotta catch the right angle of the light. Okay, right down here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that up there. I'm gonna see what I can do. Right here by my thumb. Don't want to drop this thing either. See it a little bit. It's a very light. It definitely has a little ding tick here, and but it does not break color. So let's see how this one turns out. Okay, now this one I definitely do know the variant on. We got Something is Killing the Children, number 1, the Friesen, I don't know the pronunciation, variants, but I bought 2 of these. This is the better of the 2. They're both great. I was just basically really, really nitpicking, as my old boss used to say, picking gnat shit out of a bowl of soup. To try to find the best one. I don't understand why this is not a higher price. It is such a great looking cover. I just love this thing to death, and I'm hoping that I can get one of these in a 9.8. We'll see how this goes. Gonna pause now. Okay, we're back. And the back does look excellent. That is actually just reflections of the light. That there's nothing here. Okay, I don't know why it's picking that up like that. But I can look, I don't see that by eye. It almost looks like it's, what do you call it? Mold, but looking at it with the black light, it even looks more. It's interesting. But you know what? I'm actually looking at that, and that's the way it's printed. From looking at here, it almost looks like a pattern all the way up to the top and everything. Almost looks like a dot matrix, and it has no depth to it. It is not pebbling. I didn't do this on this book. Where did I see one thing on here? No, everything on this one looks okay. Okay, so yeah, I do this effect that you see on here. It's on the other book that I have as well, which came from a completely different store, so it came from a different lot. You see it all the way through. I don't think there's anything on the inside. Yeah, let's try opening it from the staple side. Let's see how well that works. Yeah, you can see the dots on the opposite side as well. It's just, that's the way that they printed it. So I'm not going to worry about this. I'm hoping that this is going to be fine, but time will tell. Okay, I know that this is not an expensive book, and people are going to wonder, this is another one of the ones that people are going to wonder, why is he paying to have this one slabbed? I again, it's me. I really want to, and I got 2 copies of this, and this particular one, I just loved it. I'm like, look, if I'm gonna make a learning lot of 9.8s, I really want to learn from it. Now, this little stress down here, as you see by the staple, it's right where the staple is. It's not a tick. It's kind of like the way the page got pulled in when it was stapled. It's a manufacturing thing. So it shouldn't go against me. Bottom edge and everything looks good. It's the first appearance of Patriot, so if the show is, and they do develop this character, I'll already have a 9.8 before anybody else. I'll have a very low population. Okay, hang on. Okay, and back cover looks very good. Also looks like a lot of M&Ms, which I kind of miss, but I can't have those anymore. Fun part about being vegan is that you miss a lot of things that you took for granted, and nobody makes a decent M&M that doesn't have milk chocolate. Yeah, I'm one of those crazy people. I mean, but if somebody's going to eat it around me, I'm not going to preach to them. If you came over to my house, for a barbecue, I'll make you a beef hamburger. I'm not going to tell you what to put in your mouth. Anyway, like I said, the back of the book looks fine, and we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so now we have Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur #1. It's got this white cover, which makes it harder to see stuff. It's funny, people complain about a black cover that it shows everything, but it's a white cover that hides everything. That makes it that much tougher to grade, because you might be looking at a book and think, this thing looks great, and they get to CGC, and you come back with a grade you do not expect. Now, I'll tell you right now, this is not going to be a 9.8. I have 2 non-color break ticks. One is right here, one is right here, and like I said, you can't really see these things unless you're hitting just the right light. Now I'm going to see what I can do. Let's try it. See what we can do about shine a little light on me. And all I'm doing is getting reflections. It really does kind of stink. No, I'm not going to be able to pick it up. I'm sorry. That's what I get for buying a camera at Walmart. Anyway, those are the only things that are wrong with the front cover. The pages are, oh, by the way, the pages in all 10 of these books are great. There's no problems, nothing wrong with any of the interior pages. All the edges on the comic look fine. I got a little nervous when I first got this book because the color of the Marvel version of this is so drab. It almost makes it look like it's stained or faded or yellowed, but this is the color of the Marvel version of this. If you look at certain angles, it almost does look like there may be some kind of a, and this is, if I catch exactly the right angle with exactly the right light, there's a little something here, which I can't tell if it's under the same reflection. I can see the full outline of the backpack. I can't tell if that's something that's going to be held against. I mean, bear in mind, if I actually got a perfect book, it should be a 10, not a 9.8. So looking at the back cover now, you do have here, definite color rub here, this spot. This, I'm going to have to wipe my, go with the fingerprint. No, that's not pebbling. When I get that closer to me, I'll look at that. I think that's actually part of the design. Right by his hand. See this mark right here? A little dink. Let me see if I can get a close look at that, see what that is. Don't see it anywhere else on the back cover, so it makes me worry. Come on, fingers, do your job. You're right there. There is absolutely nothing on the inside. And if something hit that hard enough to actually remove No, actually, I think that's actually part of the picture. Because it looks like that's part of the back wall. I'll have to look. What I'm going to do is, if you're never not sure, you could do the same thing I do, is go online and look at other people's high-res photos. I mean, this is where eBay really comes in handy. If you see something like this and you're wondering, is this part of the book? Well, if you pull it up on 3 other people's books and that dot is there, then you know that it's actually part of the picture. Now we've got all like rubble down here, and if I could focus in better, it actually looks like the back of the wall here, and I don't think that that's actually a defect in the book. I will double check that anyway, and on the next book I will have some kind of an answer on that as well. Okay, so first off, I did look into the back of the Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur, and that spot was not on any other book that I looked at on eBay. So I'm still going to submit that because I want to see, with that spot there and the 2 ticks and a little bit of color rub, do I get a 9.2? Okay, so yes, I'm already saying in advance that that's got now 4 defects that I can see, and I want to see if my notes compare to the grader's notes. And let's move on to Invincible Iron Man number 9. And this one actually looks very, very good. A couple very, very minor 1, 2, 3. I can't even call them ticks. They're like tiquitos on the spine. Everything else looks really great on this. You know, it's funny, when I was looking up the Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, I knew that this book was next, and I actually typed in this book, and I started freaking out because every back cover had the M&Ms on it. I'm like, where is Hulkbuster Iron Man? Do I have, I mean, what do I have? I don't have the second print. I have the first print. What? And I was freaking out, and then I realized, oh, I'm looking for the wrong book. What am I looking at there? Right by red. That's actually just a reflection. There is nothing here. Okay, so everybody knows that is not any kind of, that's actually part of the ink, the way the coloring is. It's not an indentation or anything there. And everything looks good. Bottom corner, everything looks great. Moving on. The next 2 books, or the last 2 books, are ones that if you watch my videos, you know that I just recently got them. We've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 110, the retailer incentive, and this one came in, and I've checked this thing out, and I'm going to have to buy a non-retailer incentive, obviously, to read, but I didn't even want to, well, I opened it to check, but didn't read it. It's not a red copy. And it's it's a very dark copy, and everything looks really nice on it. So Transformers and Back to the Future, just in case My Little Pony didn't do it for you. I love it. They have the new Autobot called Gigawatt. The hell's a gigawatt? And this is getting to the point where it's like anything to sell a comic. But anyway, the book itself looks really good. And very last one we got now is the boys, Dear Becky number 1, the white incentive. And I was very, very pleased when I received this book. I'm sure that there's going to be a ton of these things graded. It's probably going to be somewhere around an 80% 9.8 rate. I don't care. I want this one in a slab. I think this looks great. So I couldn't find anything wrong with it. We're going to flip. So we see it looking at the back edge. Scorpion Comics. Exclusive cover as opposed to non-exclusive. Dynamite. So then that brings us to the end of the last book. Okay, so let's do a quick recap of what I have, what I'm hoping for, what I think I've got. If you're finding this information to your liking, then click like. If you'd like to see more, then subscribe. Share, notifications, go for the whole, kit and caboodle. But anyway, so first book that we looked at, Shuri number 1. Now, I am not going to predict any 9.8s. It just, no. If I get them, I'd rather be pleasantly surprised. But anything that I say a 9.6, I deep down hope. Okay? So, the Shuri 9.1, the one I think is a good chance for a 9.6. The Shuri 2, honestly, I think this is going to be a 9.4, 9.6. I think 9.6 is about as high as it's going to get. It does have that color rub in the back. I'm thinking it's probably going to be more like a 9.4. Matter of fact, let me update my little, making myself notes so I remember what I said. And there's no, I've got it on video. I've got it written down. I'm not going to see these till probably New Year's, the way CGC is. We've got We Only Find Them When They're Dead variant. This is a good solid 9.6. I think it's got a shot for the unmentionable, ye that shall be not be named. Again, same thing with the regular copy of We Only Find Them When They're Dead. Good solid 9.6 on this, maybe possible. Something's Killing the Children, the Frozen variant. I think there's a very solid 9.6, and by hoping on that one. Moon Girl number 1. I skipped one. Sorry, Secret Empire number 2. This was a really nice copy. I was, very pleasantly surprised. I got the whole set for a very decent price, and I think it was like $14 for all 5, and this one was the best copy out of all 5 of them, and I'm going to throw it in there, and I'm hoping for a 9.6 on it. Now, yes, Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur. After the thing on the back and the 2 little ticks here, I'm going to be conservative here and hoping for around a 9.2. Okay, if it comes back a 9.0, it's okay. If it comes back higher than a 9.2, 9.4, 9.6, then I'm happy. But again, that spot on the back, that dink that was by Iron Man's hand, was not in any other copies that I saw. And I want to see how much I lose in grading from this. It's important for me to know because, especially if you're looking at older books and you've got something from the 70s or the 60s where you're not going to be pulling a 9.8 most of the time, and you see these little imperfections, you need to know in your head, almost like a little calculator, that's going to be a full point, that's going to be 0.2, that's going to be 3 points. You need to know how much, get an idea of what your grade is going to be. It's not just how many imperfections, but what those imperfections are. So this one is my learning experience. I'm hoping for a 9.2. The Iron Man number 9, again, it wasn't a perfect book. It's pretty nice. I'm going to just say, let's hope for a 9.4. The last 2 books, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 110 Retailer Incentive and the Boys Dear Becky, both came in recently. They both look excellent. I love both these books, and I'm going to say, let's hope for a 9.6. So while I'm tallying this up, it gives you a quick, 10 seconds to click like, subscribe, notifications, share. I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, out of I got 7 books here that I said were 9.6. I think all 7 have the chance to be a 9.8. Now, here's my goal. Okay, now, just because you don't reach your goal is not a bad thing. Okay, a baseball player gets up to the plate. Every time he goes up there, his goal is to get a base hit. If he gets it 3 out of 10 times, he goes to the Hall of Fame. Okay, so my goal on this lot, and I said it before, and I'm going to augment it a little bit. I'm going to say my goal is for 4 9.8s. 1, 2, 3 9.6. 2 9.4, 1 9.2. So that's my goal. 4 9.8s, 3 9.6s, 2 9.4s, 1 9.2. And we're going to see how we do when we get this back. I'm going to, right now I'm going to take these out real lightly with my cloth just to make sure any last second fingerprints are off, and then it's going to be packed up 2 nights. I will be going on the CGC website and printing it up and trying to get it off into the mail tomorrow. But with the holidays, I don't anticipate this coming back until probably, say, January 10th or so. And with the cost of these books, I'm not going to pay for Fast Track, you know. So thank you again. I appreciate it. And again, like, subscribe, give me your comments. What did you think on these books? Do you think I'm overly optimistic on that little, there was no depth to that thing in the back of the Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, but if you have something that you've seen similar to that, and you know, hey, I had a book that was a 9 point, I thought it was a 9.8, it came back at 8.5, and the only thing I could find was that same little mark, which, like I said, had no depth. You couldn't see it from the opposite side. Almost looks like a printer error, but it's not, because I don't see it on any other unless I've got a rarity. But please, it's not just for my benefit. Anybody else that reads these comments will also learn, and that's what we're all here for. Thank you again so much for joining me, and have a great night.